3:42 p.m. in Charleston, South Carolina, and everybody's trying to get home. So we're all singing this song called Traffic Sucks. Traffic sucks, traffic sucks. Oh my, how traffic sucks. Traffic sucks, traffic sucks. Oh yes, this traffic sucks. I know, keep my day job, and I plan on it. Because I'm not a singer. I'm a podcast host. I'm a photographer. I'm a writer. So anyway, hey, there goes a Jeep just like mine. Same color and everything. Same color as my shirt, as a matter of fact. Anyhow, Charleston, South Carolina. Let's talk about the traffic. Hey, I might as well do YouTube live while I'm driving, right? I just can't really look at my phone. I can't see your comments. I can't answer your questions. So I'll just look at those later. But anywho, I don't know what the population of Charleston, South Carolina is, but we are full. Full. I'm telling you, full. Capital F, capital U, capital L, capital L. Full. I think like 15 people a day move into Mount Pleasant or something crazy like that. I'm sure there's more people than 15 people. Mount Pleasant is just a little township, suburb off of Charleston. That's where all the rich people live, or I should say, not rich people, all the affluent people. I call it fun-lovingly Mount Please Me. That's right, Mount Please Me. Just like I call Goose Creek Duck Ditch. Duck Ditch, USA. I think those are ducks. Okay, the voices in my head said they're going to have to research that and get back to us later. But in my mind, those were ducks. Maybe they're geese. I don't know. What do geese honk? Oink, 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 oink. No, that's a pig. I don't know. I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do a geese. How to do geese. A goose. A goose. Goose. A geese. No, it's a goose. Singular is goose. Geese is a gaggle of geese. Probably not even a gaggle. That's for something else. So anyway, I'm taking North Red shortly. If I can make it through the light. Nope. I have to stop for the red light. I would show you the traffic, the intersection. Sure, let me do that. Hold on. I can do that because I'm stopped. See all this freaking traffic? It's crazy. It's okay. No, I'm not okay. My doctor said I'd be fine. He just didn't say when. Somebody asked if I'm okay. Mr. N9N. Hello, you okay? No. Well, I'll be fine. Somebody else said hello. I can't even say their name. They must be from Russia or the Ukraine or somewhere. But anywho, so let's talk about podcasting. I need to shave. Oh well, it's the weekend. Yeah, let's talk about podcasting. I co-host a YouTube channel called Front Porch Discussions. It's called Front Porch Discussions. Look it up, check it out, subscribe. There's 3 podcast hosts: myself and James Moffitt and Anna. I almost said Anna. It's Anna. Anna. I like to call her Anna Banana, but she doesn't like that. So I have to say Anna. Anna with Honest Christian Conversations, and Mark Osborne of the Valiant Forge. So check out those podcasts. But anyway, we all co-host Front Porch Discussions, and we talk about just whatever comes to our mind. We try to come up with a couple of topics beforehand so that we can kind of have a conversation flow going on. Speaking of a conversation flow, I know I'm jumping around. That's fine. We uploaded a kind of a cartoon anime video of Front Porch Discussions, and it's the when you click on you click about, You go to the channel, it'll be the first video you see. Check it out and see what you think about it. So I've been using Opus clips. I promise I'm going to get back to the topic. I use Opus clips to create short reels, media clips, whatever, of all my full podcast episodes, and I upload them to TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, pages, blah, 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 Instagram. Well, I got an email this morning from Opus Pro stating that they came out with this new thing called agent.opus.pro. And the agent is a module that you can write up a script, upload the script to their video editor, pick what kind of scene that you want, and it'll create a video for you. And so I did that this morning. I actually did it 2 or 3 times, and I've done so many of them now that I've got to pay to increase my credits. Anyhow, so we created one for front page discussions, front porch discussions, not front page, front porch discussions, and I also created one for ABCs of Parenting Adult Children, school, SKOOL, community, and it's the first video that's shown to new members. So anyhow, oh yeah, back to the topic at hand. I chase rabbits horribly. So back to the topic at hand. Podcasts and cursing on both sides of the mic. Podcast hosts and podcast guests. Now, Anna has a decidedly Christian podcast where she talks about, honest Christian conversations. She talks about all things Christ, all things Christ-like, all things Jesus, all things discipleship, all that sort of stuff. And, well, obviously she's not going to want a guest that is going to come on her channel or on her show and drop an F-bomb, right? And I don't blame her. I wouldn't want it either. Now, my podcast, I have 3 podcasts. One is called ABCs of Parenting Adult Children. There's an audio podcast episode every week on Friday at 8 a.m. And then I also take the video portion of that and I upload it to my YouTube channels. And I also have one called Father's Refuge. Check it out. Subscribe. Father's Refuge is for fathers who have or are walking down the path of treatment for a family member, child that might have cancer or some other debilitating disease, and or have lost a child to cancer or a loved one, a family member, a wife, a husband, whatever. So that's what Father's Refuge is all about. It's a place, it's a safe space or safe place for, do you play Steel a Brain Rot? No, I do not. And I'm only responding because I'm sitting here with my foot on the brake. Anyhow, what was I saying? Yes, safe space for fathers to come to talk about their grief and loss. Then I have Liberty and Gun Rights, which might be of interest to you. Liberty and Gun Rights is a liberty, U.S. Constitution, Second Amendment, gun education, gun safety, self-defense, all that. It's not a political podcast, but we do talk about political issues and things, current events, things going on in America, yada yada yada. So that's the 3 podcasts I have. I would highly recommend that you go visit them. We're approaching a railroad crossing. My car tells me every time I get close to a railroad crossing because it doesn't want to get me smushed like a bug, I guess. So, anyway, I'm over the railroad crossing, almost to the underside of my car. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I want to encourage you to go check out all of my podcasts and Honest Christian Conversations, the Valiant Forge. Back to the topic of cursing on podcasts. So Do you care? Do you like if a podcast host or a guest does a lot of cursing on their podcast episodes? Now, I know that there are some real worldly, secular podcasts out there that people like to listen to, like Joe Rogan and I don't know, different ones. Uh, all the famous people, people that have TV shows by day and then podcasts by night. And there's comedians like Kathleen Madigan. She has a podcast. She doesn't really curse on her podcast. She has something called, that's not Rantcast, something else. It's some sort of word title she has for it. But her podcast episodes are like 3 hours long. But I love her setup. I love the set that she has, and she has cardboard, life-size cardboard replicas of actors and actresses and all that stuff. And she has people that actually send her bling bling. They send her uh, beer. They send her pretzels, chips, all kinds of edible stuff for her show for her to taste and to comment on. She has like a 3 ring binder with notes and stuff that she prints out uh, before her podcast episode. And she has a lady, I guess an administrator, admin type person that sits off camera. She doesn't even, she talks a lot, but you don't ever see her on camera. So Kathleen Madigan and this lady have this little diatribe going back and forth as Kathleen is looking into the camera, talking about all sorts of stuff. All right, where was I at? Oh yeah, cursing on the podcast. Do you have a podcast that you watch that there's a lot of cursing on? I'll never subscribe to it probably, but just leave me a note, tell me what podcast that is, and I'll go check it out. Uh, I have a friend that he has a podcast about drinking rum, I think, and smoking cigars, and I can't remember the name of it just off the top of my head or my little tippy head or tongue or whatever you want to call it. So anyway, I'm picking up some speed now. I'm doing 60 because traffic's not it's not stop and go anymore. Thank goodness. It's 3:55 p.m. I should be home at, well, I don't know, probably 4:15. Not too bad. About a 30-minute trip one way. I'm going through Hanahan, South Carolina. Salute. Population, I don't know what, 2,500, 25,000. But anyhow, yeah, let me change the direction so you can see where I'm going. See, it's got woods on both sides of the road. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I got ducks on my windshield. Can you see? I'm a Jeep driver. I got ducks. Now those are ducks. That was a duck sound. All right. So podcasts. There's all sorts of podcasts. There's cooking podcasts. There's every hobby under the that you can think of. On YouTube, I actually found a Christian jazz station on YouTube, and I subscribe to it because while I'm working, I like to put in my earbuds and listen to good, decent music. I don't like lyrics. I don't like listening to people sing. I just want some good, smooth jazz. I love jazz, and so I found several jazz stations. Like Coffee and Work was one of them, and you ought to check it out. If you're a baby boomer like me, uh, check it out. You may like it. You have to kind of like instrumental music though, kind of classical jazz, and you know what I'm talking about. If you got Sirius XM in your car, go check out Sirius XM Escape. That's what I like to listen to. It's called Sirius XM Escape, and I think it's channel 147. And that's the kind of music I like. So go check it out. You may only listen to it for 5 minutes or less than that. You may turn it back to your rock and roll 80s channel. But anyhow, anywho, I'm getting closer to home. What else can I talk about? I went to a meeting at an organization I'm not going to name. It's a monthly meeting I go to, and I support the organization. And Been a member there for a couple of years. Well, last night they were talking about, well, there were some members there that are quote unquote health experts. They've done their research, and a couple of things stuck out to me. Now, one of the conversations that came up was about vaccines. Mary Toko, or Maha Mary, as she's known widely on the certain circles, she's spent 40 years of her life researching vaccines and what's in them, and she has several doctors in different fields that have come alongside her and agreed with her and agreed about the looks like metal content in some of the vaccines and other stuff, placebos, and I'm talking about baby placenta parts and all of that. Like they use the placenta for makeup and all that stuff. Look it up. Anyway, so I'm kind of on board with the dangers of some vaccines. I'm not necessarily what you would call an anti-vaxxer, because like the measles has started cropping up in America. Maybe not all across America. I think here in South Carolina there have been several cases of measles, and the children that got the measles, they hadn't had their vaccine yet, and everybody's up in arms, going, "Well, if they'd have gotten their measles vaccine, they wouldn't be sick." And I don't know. I sort of kind of agree with them. I think there are some vaccines that have been around for decades, that have been in use for decades, and has eradicated, things like rubella, measles. I don't know. I'm not a health expert, but you get my drift. Well, one person got up and was talking about how our water supplies are connected all over America. So if somebody in St. Paul, Missouri, puts snake venom in water, the public water system, then it'll go all over the United States. I'm like, what? What? You're kidding me. Now, I'm not going to assume that they don't know what they're talking about. However, that's news to me. Why would somebody put snake venom in our drinking water? Why? Does that make sense to you? It seems kind of far fetched. Well, then somebody talked about the chemtrails, about how back in the 80s, our federal government started seeding our atmosphere with, I don't know what, something. What were they seeding it with? Some kind of, I don't know. What are they seeding it with? Guess I need to Google it or ask Microsoft Copilot about that. And anyway, some really outlandish claims were made last night as I sat there and listened, and I was like, what does this have to do with the charter of this organization that I'm a member of? I don't think it has anything to do with it, honestly. But hey, whatever, that's their thing. So everybody's got their thing, right? Everybody's got their hill they want to die on, and that's theirs. And I respect that. What else can I talk about? I don't know. I'm gonna go get in my recliner here in a few minutes. I'm just gonna go to sleep. I'll catch up on my sleep. I love my recliner. Do you have a recliner? If you do, you know what I'm talking about. You just kind of recline all the way back. Have you a cold drink next to you, and a blanket and a pillow? I don't need a pillow, but I do need a blanket and some ceiling fans. And I have to run a ceiling fan. I have to run the what's it called? Air purifier. I put that thing on medium speed, and it makes wonderful white noise and purifies the air, which is why I bought it. But anyhow, yeah, I'm gonna go home and go to sleep for 2 hours. I hope. I'm gonna try to take a nap, and I don't know what you've got planned for this weekend, but I got planned. I don't have much planned at all. We're gonna sleep. We're gonna eat. We'll sleep some more. Watch some movies. Get on the internet. I got a podcast interview I got to do tomorrow at 11 a.m. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll have to edit it, produce it, and all that kind of good stuff. And then we'll go out to eat, sleep some more. I'm gonna go to church on Sunday. I gotta volunteer on Sunday and drive the veterans back to their homes. We pick them up so they come to church and they go get food from the food pantry and clothes or whatever they need, and then we put them on our van or yeah, our church vans, and we drive them home. It's kind of a ministry we have to support uh, veterans. I don't have anybody watching this. Imagine that. So anyhow, well, I'm almost home, and this has gone on for 20 minutes. So I hope you enjoy it. Check out my YouTube channel, Chief Propellerhead. This is my personal YouTube channel. I got 112 subscribers. I could use some more subscribers. So subscribe and follow the channel. That way you'll know when I do more videos. And check out all the other podcasts that I told you about. And tell me what you think about people cursing on either side of the mic. Tell me if you care. Tell me if you don't care. Tell me if you like it, you prefer it. I don't know. You may be a born again believer. You may be a Jesus follower, a Christ follower, or you may not be. Anyhow, pulling up behind this van, or it's a GMC something or another, Terrain Magical Cleaning Service by Simone LLC. Anyway, well, everybody have a wonderful afternoon, evening, and weekend, and stay safe. We'll talk to you later. Now I got to figure out how to turn this thing off. Do y'all know how to turn off the video live while you're driving? I may have to wait until I get stopped so I can look at this. I do not know.